All right, everybody, welcome to the Fear the Fincast. I'm Jacob Sunstrom, the managing editor at Fear the Fin. It's a beautiful morning. It's 10:05 a.m. Pacific on January 19th in the year of our Trump 2017. Joined by Marcus White, staff writer at fearthefin.com. All right, Sharks beat the Kings last night 3-2 in a game that really wasn't as close as the scoreline probably indicates. I thought the Sharks played really well last night. Marcus, thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they played a very good game. Fourth line looked really good once again. Not only recently, but when Ryan Carpenter's played there, he's played very well in that spot. He seems to have legitimate chemistry with Michael Haley. I think we can confidently say that. It has only been, I think, they've played 3 games. Carpenter's played this season, but I mean, I think we've seen enough to at least warrant a longer look. Contributions from up and down the lineup. I mean, when you're missing, 2 top 6 forwards in Jonas Donskoy and Logan Couture, so you'll take a win any way you can get it, and a win in which you dominate, then that's pretty good. So I think the Sharks will take it. First half of the back-to-back, they obviously wanted to get the first 2 points, and now tonight trying to get the second 2 against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing to me is that not only did they win, but obviously they controlled possession, like you said. And Sharks are missing, Couture, Donskoy, and obviously can't forget they're missing Tomas Hertl as well, while the Kings are only missing Tyler Toffoli. And I went on the Jules for the Crown podcast last night, and it's not a great time to be a Kings fan, which means it's a great time to be a Sharks fan. So they're not happy time in Kingsland. And I think really what stuck out to me most is, especially as opposed to maybe other times the Sharks played the Kings even this season, is that the Sharks just look like a much better team than the Kings. Just kind of look a lot like it did in the playoffs last season, where it just kind of looked like the Kings couldn't hang with the Sharks really at any point of the game last night, even when the game was close. The Sharks are just a better possession team. They're a faster team. They're a team that could, it's much more dangerous, when they have the puck. I think the biggest thing to remember, I want to look up what the actual penalty differential numbers ended up being, but the Kings definitely had their fair share of power play opportunities. And not only did they not score on any of them, they just looked absolutely feckless on just about all of them. And honestly, as much as I want to credit the Sharks penalty killing for that, I think that has as much to do with the fact that the Kings were just absolutely useless on the power play last night. And that's really got to start wearing on you, maybe not so much as a Kings player, but as a Kings fan, to see that your team is just so grossly incompetent at scoring. And I think at some point, there are going to be, some calls for some changes. I see the Kings had 4 power plays. I said the Sharks also had four power plays. I know that, do they count the double, the 4-minute power play as 2, or do they count that as 1?
Yeah, that's 2.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Who was it that called? Who did think it was that Carlson that then also got called for holding on that? Yeah.
That was Carlson and I want to say Kyle Clifford.
Yeah, that the officiating last night was
a little whack.
It was very bad, very bad
on both sides. I think to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say it was slanted necessarily, but it was just god awful and stupid. This game did not get the cream of the crop in terms of officiating.
For sure.
It's just abysmal. And then there was that terrible coach's challenge. I'm not sure what Pete DeBoer thought he saw there, but the Sharks, if you didn't see it, I guess you could look it up. It's try to get a goaltender interference called on the Kings' first goal, when very clearly there was just nothing there. Martin Jones, I mean, is basically out of the crease, and his glove certainly is out of the crease. If anything, there's interference could be called on the Sharks on that play, I thought. Not that it ended up mattering, of course, and you're only losing a timeout, which I don't really think even matters that much, but it was a very weird game in terms of officiating and reviews, and the whole thing was very, very weird. Kind of a weird game. All of these games are weird.
Yeah, it was odd. It was keeping with the previous games in terms of how close it was on the scoreboard. nice to see Martin Jones have a bounce back game of sorts. He played well against Winnipeg, of course. Tried that awesome empty net goal that ended up in the back of his own net. That was pretty awesome. And
Taking
then
tips from Marc-Andre Fleury.
yeah, and then on Saturday, the goal his goaltending did not go so well, but the last two games he's played a lot better. Question tonight, of course, as always, and I think it's a worthy question this point in the season when Aaron Dell's started so few games, is if Aaron Dell's going to start tonight. I think he started all but one game this season against an Eastern Conference opponent and I believe each of them have come on one night. Each of those games, and even the Calgary game, have come on the second night or the first night of a back-to-back. Maybe all but one have been in a back-to-back situation. That being said, he has not started in every back-to-back situation. Sharks play a bad Colorado team on Saturday. Do you think there's any chance that Dell does not play tonight and instead plays on Saturday?
I actually think that there's a chance that he plays both of these games, but I think there's a better chance because they play Colorado both on Saturday and then they play them again on Tuesday, correct? I think that there's a chance that Dell plays today and then again on Tuesday would be my guess. I think Dell plays today, especially with the Sharks getting a win yesterday. I think that really propels, it's like Jones played the Kings yesterday. The Sharks won. It's a really satisfying win. I mean, that's, when the coach says it's a satisfying win, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, so we're good then. So we're good, coach. Yeah, we're good, guys. We're good. Yeah, we're taking the morning off. It's like, okay, all right, cool. Then we're good.
Well, according to our highly scientific poll, 70% of our 288 respondents think that Aaron Dell will start tonight.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, I think I feel pretty good about Aaron Dell starting tonight. I believe, did he start? No, he probably didn't actually start against Tampa last time because that wasn't a back-to-back.
No, he has not played against Tampa yet this season.
Right. Yeah, I keep thinking that Florida was a back-to-back because it so often is, but that was not a back-to-back, which, like, of all the scheduling that, the NHL has done this year that hasn't made any sense, doing the Florida series back-to-back makes perfect sense to me, and they didn't do it. So,
yeah.
The NHL continues to work.
Straight scheduling is definitely something that I've observed. I mean, the fact that the Sharks have played LA all of their games already and haven't played Vancouver. I understand they're trying to limit travel. I understand they're trying to limit that kind of stuff, but that's very odd that you have arguably one of the best NHL rivalries finish up before February. That's very strange to me.
Yep, but especially if you figure you want that to be maybe part of the playoff race story, you would think maybe. Another thing that's very foolish, I think, is that they made 3 out of the 5 LA San Jose games are part of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
2 of those back-to-backs are the second half of the back-to-back. This is the only one that was the first half of the back-to-back. So you're telling me you want your rivalry night games to be played with guys that are tired?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I mean, this is
what are you doing?
I think they've been on rivalry night or on NBCSN in all but one of those games, and that was probably the New Year's Eve game.
Right.
So I mean, it's clearly a matchup that that NBC likes to air. So to get it out of the way, knowing the playoff history, very, very strange to me.
Yeah. Also, not looking forward to play. I know that San Jose did this with Vancouver last year as well. And man, I really got sick of the Canucks. And this is even when the Canucks aren't any good. And I know that the Canucks are a little bit less aggravatory than they were in years past. I just worry less about the Canucks doing anything, more so than the Sharks getting themselves into trouble. It's just the dad and me get worried about Joe Thornton doing something stupid.
Yeah.
So thankfully, they don't play them too close to the end of the season. Well, not in the last game anyway. They play them with I think it's like with 3 games to go and then 2 games to go, and then they play the 2 Alberta teams. So anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves though. 1 game at a time. Quick correction: they play the Avalanche Saturday and then Monday, not on Tuesday, because it's a Monday-Tuesday road back-to-back, which is also
one of those games on NBCSN.
Which is also baffling. They're playing that Monday game against Colorado again on NBCSN because I assume that there's nothing else on TV on Monday night on NBC
The
Sports.
intrigue of the Matt Nieto Bowl.
Oh, that must be it.
Yeah.
Matt Nieto scored his first goal for the Colorado Avalanche on Tuesday.
First goal of the season, then, correct?
Yep, correct.
Wow.
So obviously that's why Matt Nieto and Tommy Wingles and Michael Haley had a counter last night. They're like, oh, whoa,
yeah,
we've got to slow down, big boy.
We've got to up our ante. I mean, they've fourth line has looked pretty good of late. And I think we've said it every time he's up, but we'd like to see more Ryan Carpenter. I think he's earned an opportunity here for an extended look. With the injuries, I think he'll get that look. Whether or not he'll get that look when Hurdle's healthy or when the rest of the team's healthy, that definitely remains to be seen.
I think the problem with Ryan Carpenter is that Tommy Wingles just scored.
Yeah.
And so I think he's kind of toast again.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Once they're healthy, they'll move.
If Couture is back tonight, Carpenter's out.
Yeah, Wingles will set up the fourth line.
Yeah,
but I think fourth line look. I mean, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think it looks good. Yeah, I haven't checked my charts yet. Fourth line has looked pretty good together when it was Carlson, Wingles, and Haley. I think Wingles he's been in and out of the lineup, but I think his last couple games, and even independent of the scoring, I think he's played a little better than he was earlier in the season. Still think he's probably the odd man out just due to salary. I think the fact is, if the Sharks had found a taker, he would have been gone already. I think it's been shown that they have enough depth in their farm system of guys that can play bottom six roles. I mean, Barclay Goodrow's up with the team. Carpenter played last night, so. But that's good for Wingles if he keeps scoring. We talked about it before. If he keeps scoring, the fact that the Sharks are struggling so much to score this season, it's very hard to keep that man out of the lineup.
That being said, it's also good for the Sharks if they can find a way to move him and get keep Carpenter in the lineup. I mean, that's a savings of like $1.8 million because Carpenter's only making $600,000.
Yep.
That's a lot of that is a lot of money in salary cap terms, and that is enough to really add a significant piece at the trade deadline. I mean significant, and throw in the fact that you have other guys like Melker's making $1.6 million this year.
Yep.
I mean, that's a guy that you can move a guy like Melker Karlsson, who's a guy I like quite a bit, but that you could upgrade to someone who's better and making more money. And you could be talking about, actually going out and getting someone who's, a pretty substantial upgrade if you wanted to. That's significant. Going back to the waiver race, by the way, I just want to note that since Matt Nieto's been waived, Matt Nieto is tied with Michael Haley with half a point per game, and Tommy Wingles is trailing with 0.4 points per game.
Yikes!
So.
The fickle nature of scoring rates. Well, Tommy Wingles and Carpenter could have more time in the lineup depending on a development that happened late in the game.
Nice segue.
Wasn't noticed by many. Hey, that's why they pay me no bucks for this.
$0.
Bodker, after his breakaway, appeared to be in some discomfort on the bench. We saw the camera cut away, so it looked like he was walking in the direction of the room and under some discomfort. He did not play for the game's final 4 minutes or so after his breakaway attempt. Neither did Kevin LeBanc, who was also on that line. Patrick Marleau did, but I think you can chalk that up to Pete DeBoer just tightening his bench late in the game. I didn't see Bodker come back on the ice. I didn't see if he was in the Sharks celebration after. I didn't see if when they all congratulate Martin Jones after the game. I didn't see him. He came back out on the ice then. What would you, if this could end up being moot by the time the listeners listen to this podcast tonight before the game. But if Bodker's out, what would you expect the Sharks to then do? You think they're just going to play Gaudreau tonight, or do you think we'll see another corresponding move?
I think it depends if Logan Couture is healthy, I guess. So that's the number one thing. If Couture is back, then obviously no big deal. You put Couture back in the lineup, And that actually makes it kind of easy because then you've got Couture back on the second line. You can move, Marleau back to the top line, and everything kind of, moves back into itself that way. Now, if it's much more interesting to talk about if Couture is not ready to go tonight, that makes things really, really interesting. In that case, I think you got to put Gaudreau in the lineup because, hey, he's already here, and it gives you kind of an opportunity to get a look at a guy in a game that, I don't want to say the game doesn't matter, but after beating the Kings last night, I kind of feel like the game doesn't matter because you can kind of punt with putting Aaron Dell in net. And, at that point, it's like, hey, we've got Ryan Carpenter playing center, and, hey, we've got Michael Haley, and we've got Barclay Gaudreau playing, and nobody's healthy. And I don't know. Like, let's just roll the pucks out there and see what happens. At that point, I mean, I don't even know what your team looks like. I mean, I don't even know where you play Barclay Gaudreau.
That's a real concern. I mean, he's not played with the Sharks this season, hasn't played with the team in over a year now. I think he's a winger. You probably slide him in to your bottom six, but then you're moving.
I mean, who do you bump up?
You're moving Tommy Wingels probably up to a third line position, and then bumping up Joel Ward to a second line spot. And if your second line is Kevin LeBanc, Patrick Marleau, and Joel Ward,
what about Timo Meier?
You could bump up Timo Meier.
That's what I would do.
Meier, LeBanc, Marleau, having probably the oldest guy on the team, not named Joe Thornton, with the two youngest. That'd give us plenty to write about. So that'd at least be good. I think
I just feel like putting Joe Ward up there is it's like putting one of the fastest guys on the team with the slowest. That would give us plenty to write about.
That's true. Although Ward's played well with Marleau in the past. They played well together on that third line in the playoffs, both when Marleau centered and when Chris Tierney centered that line. So, I think a lot of it depends on Logan Couture. I believe he was sick last night.
Yeah, they said he was battling that on Monday as well. That at least was the story. He also didn't play that final 9 minutes, on Monday because of the blocked shot. And Pete DeBoer at least said that it's unrelated.
Okay, that's good.
You got to take him at his word for that.
Of course. Because I remember seeing that during the game on Monday. That was a pretty scary, literally a textbook how you get injured blocking a shot.
Yes. Not a good way to block. Yeah, watch that, kids, and never block a shot the way Logan Couture blocked that shot.
Try not to get your hand caught there for sure.
They literally teach you not to do it that way. Yeah.
So what were we talking about? Yeah, Barclay Gaudreau, and the lineup will look as depleted as it's looked all season, but I think the Sharks have shown. What's up?
They should call up Goldobin. That's a good idea.
I agree. If Couture's out, if Bodker's out, that's going to be the thinnest lineup they've iced all year. But the Sharks have done a good job all season, really, of managing injuries and managing that kind of adversity. I mean, as you look at how well they've played in Tomas Hertl's absence, and I think nothing speaks better to their depth. So, on a one-game basis, they might be able to do it, but the second night of a back-to-back, that's tough. The Lightning are missing Steven Stamkos. He is on long-term injured reserve, but this is a team that a lot of people thought was a Stanley Cup contender coming into the season. They haven't.
This idiot!
I had them in the cup too. I
had the Sharks beating them. Sorry, don't worry about it.
The Lightning currently sit 4 points out of one of the three automatic playoff spots. 3 points out of one.
I'm really glad we didn't put money on these picks.
No, I didn't. No, thankfully.
Thank you, God. Gambling is wrong, kids. Don't do it.
So they're 3 points out of one of those spots, and it looks like they're 3 points out of the wild card as well. Don't look now, but the Carolina Hurricanes are also only a point out of the wild card. I feel like that's not being talked about nearly enough.
I'm telling you, man, if that team just gets league average goaltending, they're a playoff team the past 3 years.
Yeah, and it looks like they're starting to get it, and they've definitely started to pick up their scoring lately.
Don't worry, Cam Ward's going to mess it up.
The Lightning, much like the Panthers, are a team that I certainly did not expect to struggle nearly this much this year. You have the Bruins, Maple Leafs, and Senators ahead of them in the standings. I never would have thought that to be possible. But, there's still, I think, opportunities for the Lightning to make the playoffs. Toronto and Ottawa's schedules are really going to ramp up. And knowing what we know about Ottawa, I see them dropping more than I see Toronto. hashtag the Leafs are actually good.
Yeah,
But this is
Toronto's good. Ottawa's
yeah,
terrible. Ottawa's
yeah.
a bad hockey team, and
This is
the difference
this
is
is
that Toronto and Florida and the Lightning have been hurt. So if they get
yes.
healthy and Ottawa comes back to earth, we're talking about a different story.
Well,
here.
Florida has some cause for concern. Read today that both Huberdeau and Barkov's injuries could be season-ending, and that is devastating for the Panthers.
They're toast then, yeah.
Devastating. They've already played 49 games and they have 47 points. They needed to up the ante there. Lightning, 46 games, 47 points. They're
given how bad their division is. They're not out of it.
Yeah, I would even say the Panthers aren't out of it yet. If Ottawa can drop like we've seen,
if no Barkov and no Huberdeau, they're toast.
No, of course. And the Bruins, I mean, they're thinking about firing Claude Julien, which is, I mean,
cheers to you, Boston. Love you, boys.
Happened, that's
Godspeed.
A little flabbergasting to me. So this is a pivotal game for the Lightning. It's going to be interesting to see. I think this year that part of the reason they've struggled, at least from what I've read, is that they just have not gotten very good goaltending this season from Vasilevsky or Ben Bishop. It's kind of created an interesting dilemma for them because they really haven't gotten goaltending that they expected from either guy. And we've all been talking about for years, seemingly, that okay, this Lightning team, they're gonna get rid of Ben Bishop this summer, or they're gonna try and trade him before the deadline because Vasilevsky's the goalie of the future. But I mean, Ben Bishop is rocking a .910 save percentage. Vasilevsky's rocking a .906. That is
it's not good.
That's not very good, and that's not nearly on par with what they've done. What they've done in the past. Looking at their even strength, looks like I'm not going to find it. I will try and find that their even strength save percentage. I'll go to Corsica. But in the meantime, what do you think is going to come out of their goaltending dilemma now that they've had both goalies struggle? Is it more likely now that they keep Ben Bishop?
I think that I'd like to think that they're smart enough that they see this as more of a small sample size thing than anything else. I mean, I think we've seen that they're both good goaltenders. I think the biggest thing is that they're going to lose one of these guys in the expansion draft, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if Vegas is smart, they still take one of these guys, and they take Vasilevsky if he's left available.
Right.
Right. Now, my question is,
with Bishop leaving him unprotected because you assume, okay, he's a goalie that's he's out of contract after the year.
Right, and that's the thing, right? They got to protect Vasilevsky, and so whatever, right? So that's the thing, yeah, exactly. So right, and
strike save percentage 907. Ben Bishop 924. I'm trying to get a check on how that compares to the rest of the league goalies that have played a minimum of 50 minutes. So I'm really casting a very wide net here. If Corsica would just cooperate, or more importantly, my laptop would cooperate.
Yeah, I mean that's quite good. Yeah, I mean that's Ben Bishop's been quite a bit better. Or if you look over the past, since 2014 to now, Ben Bishop's even straight save percentage has been a 9.248. Vasilevsky's a 9.186. I mean, there's really no question that Bishop's been the better goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference is that Bishop's 30 and Vasilevsky's only 22.
Right.
Vasilevsky's got a more reasonable contract. I wouldn't sign. Someone's going to sign Bishop to a long-term contract, and I wouldn't do that. Don't overpay for goaltending.
Please, that Ben Bishop has a higher even strength save percentage than this season. Corey Schneider, Cam Ward, Marc-Andre Fleury, Martin Jones, Connor Hellebuyck, Jake Allen, Peter Mrazek. So he's pretty firmly in the middle in terms of even strength save percentage.
But all those guys have been pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin Jones has not been good.
That's a list of guys that have all underwhelmed in one way or another this season.
Right, exactly. None of those guys have been good. Fleury's been bad. I mean, Peter Mrazek has not been good or isn't good. I mean, it's not just he hasn't been good. I mean, he's just not a good goalie. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's.
And Vasilevsky's been even worse. That's the issue. I think if you're Tampa, it comes down to if you think this season, you mentioned there's been the better goalie. Is it worth investing in him to prevent that drop off? Given some of the contracts they have, I'd probably say no. I think it's the smarter move to keep Vasilevsky. He's on a pretty reasonable contract, and then you hope you hit on another goalie. But maybe Yzerman is willing to invest in Bishop because this is a team that tried, pretty desperately when Yzerman first got there. They tried to go with the cheap goaltending route. They had Anders Lind back, and then they acquired Bishop, and they hit on Bishop, but they missed pretty heavily on Anders Lindback. And if they tried to go with that cheap goaltending duo again, goaltending is just so fickle. They have quite the conundrum.
They may be better off going with a goaltending tandem. Because as much as I know that everyone, and myself included, has really kind of crapped on what the Stars have done this year, the Stars goaltending is the only thing that's actually worked.
Yeah. They've been, both goaltenders have been pretty good for them this season.
Kari Lehtinen this year is a 9.329 even strength save percentage. So
that'll get it done.
That'll do it. Antiniemi's got a 9.256, which, hey guys, spoiler alert, that's a lot better than Martin Jones' 9.161. So yeah, just a heads up, So yeah, wouldn't mind having that around, huh?
We'll say though, a minimum of 50 minutes, second in the league in even strength save percentage, Aaron Dell.
Small sample size, bro. Minimum of 470 minutes, number one goalie in the NHL right now, Devin Dubnyk.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, this Lightning matchup would have a lot more intrigue if Steven Stamkos was playing. We talked about the rumor du jour of the Sharks offseason was that they were in on the Steven Stamkos derby. This matchup would be a lot more interesting if he was playing.
He was scared. He didn't want to come out to San Jose. So what's the over-under you think on jersey fouls tonight with people with teal Stamkos jerseys?
Oh, I take whatever it is, take the under. I don't think enough people know, or I don't think if that had been reported on that had been reported before he he actually signed, as opposed to after, then I think we would have seen some teal Stamkos jerseys. Set the line at half. I will take the under.
You don't think there's even going to be one?
I think there will be one teal Stamkos jersey at the SAP Center, formerly known as the HP Pavilion, formerly known as the Compact Center, formerly known as the San Jose Arena.
How about a Tavares jersey?
See that? If we keep pumping those tires, we keep floating that out with no basis in any reporting, just entirely speculation.
FearTheFin.com based entirely in speculation and not based it out in reporting.
Pretty much.
Your source for baseless reporting. I'm the Western Conference champion, formerly the Campbell Conference, San Jose Sharks.
Yes. No, I don't think we see it. I don't think we see a Tavares jersey either. Although, hey, maybe next year.
All right. Much better chance we see a Roman Polak jersey tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think much better. People bought James Reimer jerseys last year. Someone bought a Roman Polak jersey.
People love their goalies, baby. People love their goalies.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Never will. Any other? Oh yeah, we get to see Jonathan Drouin tonight at least. That's a fun guy. I was really hoping that Steve Yzerman would really go nuts last year and get rid of him, and Doug Wilson would swoop in and pick that guy up. Pick up that. Is he Russian?
Is he Russian?
Jonathan Drouin, Steve Yzerman.
No.
Is Steve Yzerman Russian?
No, Drouin's Canadian.
Oh, is he? Well, whatever.
Had a heck of an assist the other night against the Kings. I'm excited to watch him play. That Yzerman looks like a genius for waiting him out last year, and now Drouin's, because the Lightning just keep hitting on these guys.
I really absolutely despise Steve Yzerman, both as a person and as a GM, as a hockey player too. Screw Steve Yzerman. He's the worst. He's dog crap. Boo.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't call him dog crap. Certainly as a player, I would not call him dog crap.
I would. Terrible. Okay. I would boo him if he was here right now.
Good.
Right through his face.
Well, I'll call him up. I'll get him on the line.
We'll get him on the pod sometime.
You can boo him. All right, we're joined by Steve Yzerman.
Boo! Hang up on him. Hang up on him. Got him. Ha! Got him. Nice. Sweet prank call. Ha! Nice. All right. So tonight, Lightning, Saturday, Nieto Bowl Part 1. Monday, Nieto Bowl Part 2. Tuesday, going to be in the Peg. The Peg.
Right. Back to back, Colorado to Winnipeg. Is there a bigger drop off in the league in terms of road trip cities than Denver to Winnipeg? I mean, probably New York to Winnipeg, but I'm saying within reasonable geographic distance.
New York to Buffalo.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Although I don't like New York very much, so for me, yeah, probably Denver to Buffalo or Denver to Winnipeg. I'm not a big New York guy.
Yeah,
Buffalo is terrible though, so I have been to both, so yeah, okay. That's terrible. It's pretty bad.
I hear they're revitalizing a little bit in the low, in the B low.
In Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was there just a month ago, and it's.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's very.
Rust Belt city.
It's despondent. I mean, it's not Detroit, or oh man, all right, wait a minute. What about like? Could you do a Denver to Detroit? No, Toronto to Detroit might be up there. That would be pretty bad.
I wonder what their new publicly funded arena is going to look like next year.
That's fair. All right, we might change it next year, but right now I would say Toronto to Detroit is up there. Even Pete DeBoer was crap. Pete DeBoer took a shot at Detroit.
Yeah,
and
that's
Pete
true.
DeBoer does not know how to have a good time. He does not. He's never had a good time.
That guy is just emotionless on the bench. I love the TSN is really, the game director has really done a good job of mastering the cut to DeBoer for a reaction shot whenever there's a goal, and he's just showing absolutely no emotion. I think it's great. I think it's very fun. He only gets mad when there's a bad penalty call.
Did you see? Like last night, the Carlson holding thing. He was very upset about that. Did you see there was a cut last night? I was watching the game with the sound off at one point, and there was a series. I think they were coming back from commercial where they showed Pete DeBoer, then Daryl Sutter, then Pete DeBoer, then Daryl Sutter, then Pete DeBoer, and then Daryl. They did this, it felt like, for a whole minute where they just went back and forth between these two, like, emotionlessly angry, sad old men, just back and forth. Anyway, it was incredible. I want to find it and then download it and then set it to music. And I'm not sure what song I'm going to use yet. So if anyone listening has got song suggestions, go ahead and send them to fieldfin@gmail.com. Maybe I'll do a whole compilation, put it up on YouTube.
It could work.
It's going to be great. So we'll do another one of these pods, maybe on, I don't know, one of these days. Because I know that after this Tuesday game, they've got like one more game, and then we've got a pretty big break because that bye is coming up here. Right. And then I think the bye is coming up after that.
Yeah, shortly after the bye will be happening. You will be going to the NHL All-Star game.
Woo! Yeah, so we got the All-Star break, then we've got the Hawks on the 31st of January on Tuesday, and then the bye. I will be at the All-Star game in Los Angeles on the 28th and 29th, skill competition on the 28th. I'll be there to ask your hard-hitting questions. Going to ask Martin Jones what his favorite restaurant in LA is. Oh, no, I really like Shake Shack. It's pretty good.
I don't even think Shake Shack had opened in LA by the time you went for San Jose.
In-N-Out? In-N-Out's pretty good. Go to Starbucks sometimes.
He'll keep it to the point for sure.
Wherever Tyler Toffoli told me to go.
Maybe that's why Tyler Toffoli didn't play last night. He couldn't
take it.
Scoring against Martin Jones. He's done it before, but he couldn't bear.
He couldn't do it again. By the way, did you see the photo that Mark Weber, our recapper, used for the Quick Bite last night?
I did not, but I'm looking.
Go ahead and look right now. It's a pretty good hockey prom photo between Brent Burns and Martin Jones. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead to the website and see the Quick Bite photo from the King Sharks.
That's a nice picture. That's
nice. Somebody's mom
framed on a desk.
Yeah, exactly. Framed on a desk, a little bit dusty. Maybe a little veil over it.
Yeah,
it's very nice. Very
flip
tasty.
it down when you're upset. You don't want them to be disappointed in you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's I like it. Maybe I'll put that on a T-shirt. Speaking of, guys, check out my sweet T-shirt. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my sweet Mirko Mueller T-shirt. This actually got a like from Mirko on Twitter. He was a big fan.
Hey now.
Not big enough to retweet it though. So
of course. I took a picture with Robert Griffin III at an airport, and he liked it on Instagram once. That was fun.
Nice.
Didn't regram it though. That would have been That would have been my peak.
I took a photo of my Danny Williams Reading jersey, and he liked that on Instagram. That was cool.
Okay. Or social media dynamos is really what you're saying.
We are the worst. Yeah. Big time losers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Let me tell you, son. Maybe we'll do another one of these on Sunday, depending on how the Matt Nieto Bowl goes. Who knows? I'm going to go to the Barracuda game on Saturday, so we can also talk about that.
Cuda.
The Cuda. The big
They didn't play that song once when we went to the Barracuda game. They didn't play the song Barracuda. Really big disappointment.
Did they not? I think they did. Oh, they did not. They did on Friday. Pre-game.
Maybe they did pre-game, but
do you want me to tell you my can I tell my really embarrassing Barracuda story?
Yes, please do.
That? Okay. So I was in high school and was talking to this girl. Was pretty into it. I was over at her parents' house, and her dad was telling me the story about how the two of them had gone up. We were in Southern California.
Wait, is this about the game or is this about the song Barracuda?
It's a Barracuda story.
Okay.
It's relevant.
Good. Good. I like it.
It's an embarrassing high school story. This is a good story.
Beautiful.
This is one of my most embarrassing high school stories that I'm sharing with you. I tell everybody this embarrassing Barracuda story. And so we're talking. We're in LA, right? Talking about how they had driven up to San Francisco to get this Barracuda, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. And I'm just like kind of going along with it. Like, what's this guy talking about? Why the hell would you drive all the way up to San Francisco to get a Barracuda? What are you doing? You're crazy. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. And I'm just kind of going along with it. And then somewhere halfway through the conversation, I'm kind of like, so where does he even keep the fish at? What's the deal? And I don't know what I said that tipped it off, but he's like, the car. I'm like, yeah, sure, the car. Anyway, that's when I outed myself as someone who had just no idea and absolutely knew nothing about cars. And anyway, that was a pretty embarrassing moment for me. Because I thought they were driven up to San Francisco to pick up some ginormous fish and drive it back down to Southern California the whole time.
But they were picking up what were they picking up?
Because the song's about a car. Because the bear.
Okay. Now, okay. I would have made the same mistake as you. I would have made the exact same mistake.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was like, I had no idea that's what the song was about. It's about a car.
Oh man, that's so funny. That's amazing.
Yeah. So as it turns out, there's a car named Barracuda, or used to be, because they don't make those anymore because they're hunks of junk.
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. That's hysterical.
Yeah. So she was standing over there, dying of laughter because she knew what was happening the whole time, and just let me.
Why are you guys going to get this fish, man? Like
a fish? Can't you just go to the ocean? It's right over there, bro. You won't ship you the fish. Anyway, so what a jerk. Anyway, that's my fish story.
That's a good fish story.
It's my fish tale, bro. Starring Will Smith. I think that was Shark Tale. Whatever.
That's great.
All right. Anyway, guys, we'll be back on Sunday with more embarrassing fish stories.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. We're on Twitter at Fear the Fin, at Marcus P. White, at Jake Sundstrom. You can find this on iTunes or just by searching Fear the Fin, or you can watch us do this shit here. By going to fearthefin.com. It's now 10:44 on January 19th. See how we
And we'll be back on Sunday, January 22nd.
Whoa! Nice.
I can read a calendar.
Yeah. A calendar, what's that? It's like a clock, but for days. Crazy. What's a clock? I don't know. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.